Public speaking can be terrifying. Did you know that 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? It's called glossophobia, and it affects millions. But there's a silver lining. Most mistakes speakers make are easy to fix. Let's dive into the world of public speaking. You'll learn about 9 common mistakes that trip up even seasoned speakers. These aren't your usual tips. We're talking about things like the monotone trap and the data dump. For instance, did you know that using varied tones can increase listener retention by 40%? Or that a story can make data 22 times more memorable? These aren't just tricks. They're game changers. We'll show you how to spice up your voice, avoid jargon overload, and turn stats into stories. You'll discover the power of body language and the art of being spontaneous. Plus, we'll teach you how to hook your audience from the start and keep them engaged throughout. Ready to transform your public speaking skills? Let's uncover the secrets and master the art of captivating your audience. Stay tuned. Chapter 1: The Monotone Trap. Elevate your vocal variety. Are you stuck in the monotone trap? A flat voice can put your audience to sleep faster than a lullaby. Studies show that a varied vocal tone can increase listener retention by 40%. So, how do you add spice to your speech? First, experiment with pitch. Raising your pitch can highlight excitement or importance, while lowering it can add gravity. Remember, it's like seasoning food. Too much or too little can ruin the dish. Next, play with your pace. Speed up to convey urgency or slow down to emphasize a point. Think of Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. His deliberate pauses made his words resonate. Volume is your third tool. A sudden drop in volume can draw listeners in, while a burst of loudness can wake them up. It's all about contrast. Try practicing with a friend or recording yourself. You might be surprised at how different you sound. Don't just focus on what you say, but how you say it. Your voice is an instrument, use it to its fullest potential. Chapter 2: Overloading on jargon. Speak their language. Have you ever sat through a speech and felt like the speaker was speaking another language? That's the jargon overload. Did you know that using jargon can decrease audience comprehension by up to 60%? To avoid this, start by knowing your audience. Are they experts in the field or newcomers? Tailor your language to their level of understanding. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Use analogies and metaphors to make complex ideas relatable. For instance, describing a complicated software process as a recipe can make it easier to grasp. Avoid industry-specific acronyms unless you're sure everyone knows them. If you must use them, explain what they mean. Also, simplify your vocabulary. Instead of utilize, just say use. Instead of leverage, say take advantage of. Clear, simple language keeps your audience engaged and informed. Lastly, ask for feedback. After your speech, check if your audience understood your main points. If not, refine your approach. Chapter 3: The Data Dump. Transform stats into stories. Ever been bombarded with so many stats that you couldn't keep up? That's the data dump. Overloading your audience with numbers can make their eyes glaze over. Yet, when used correctly, data can be powerful. Instead of listing numbers, tell a story with them. For example, instead of saying, 30% of people are disengaged at work, say, imagine 3 out of 10 of your colleagues feeling completely disconnected. What does that do to team morale? This approach makes data relatable and memorable. Statistics show that storytelling can increase retention by 22 times compared to just presenting facts. Use visuals like graphs and charts to make your data digestible. A pie chart can be more impactful than rattling off percentages. Incorporate anecdotes. Share a case study or personal story that illustrates your data. For instance, talk about a company that improved productivity by 50% after implementing a new strategy. Don't forget to highlight the implications of the data. What does it mean for your audience? How can they apply it? Always tie your data back to your main message. And keep it concise. Less is more when it comes to data. Focus on the most compelling stats and leave out the rest. By transforming stats into stories, you keep your audience engaged and make your message stick. Chapter 4: Ignoring Body Language, Your Silent Communicator. Did you know that over 55% of communication is nonverbal? Your body language speaks volumes, even when you're silent. Ignoring this can undermine your message. So, how can you master this silent communicator? First, focus on your posture. Stand tall with your shoulders back. This conveys confidence and authority. Studies show that good posture can boost your confidence levels by 20%. Eye contact is crucial. It helps build a connection with your audience. Aim to make eye contact with different sections of the room, not just one person. This creates a sense of inclusion. Your gestures should match your words. Use your hands to emphasize key points, but avoid overdoing it. Imagine explaining something without words. Your gestures should be that clear. Facial expressions are also vital. A smile can make you seem approachable, while a furrowed brow can convey seriousness. Practice in front of a mirror to see how your face looks when you're speaking. Avoid crossing your arms or legs. This can make you seem closed off or defensive. Instead, keep your stance open to appear more approachable. Lastly, be mindful of your movements. Pacing can be distracting. Try to move with purpose, using the stage to engage different parts of the audience. Chapter 5, Reading the Script, Mastering Spontaneity. Relying too heavily on a script can make your speech sound robotic. It's like watching a movie where the actors are just reading lines. To truly connect, you need to master spontaneity. Start by knowing your material inside out. This gives you the confidence to speak without relying on notes. As Mark Twain said, "It usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech." Practice, but don't memorize. Focus on the key points you want to convey and let the exact wording come naturally. This keeps your delivery fresh and engaging. Use bullet points instead of a full script. This allows for more flexibility and helps you maintain eye contact with your audience. Embrace pauses. They give you time to think and can emphasize important points. Silence can be a powerful tool. Interact with your audience. Ask questions or invite comments. This not only engages them but also allows you to adapt your speech based on their reactions. Tell stories and anecdotes. Personal experiences make your speech more relatable and memorable. They also give you a break from sticking to a script. Lastly, rehearse with distractions. Practice in different settings to get comfortable with unexpected interruptions. This will help you stay composed no matter what happens during your speech. Chapter 6, Skipping the Hook, Grabbing Attention from the Start. The first few seconds of your speech are crucial. Without a strong hook, you risk losing your audience's attention. Did you know that the average attention span is just 8 seconds? Here's how to grab and hold it. Start with a question. Something thought-provoking or surprising can draw listeners in. For example, did you know that public speaking is more feared than death? Share a shocking statistic. This can intrigue your audience and make them want to hear more. For instance, according to a Gallup poll, 75% of people have a fear of public speaking. Use a powerful quote. Something relevant and impactful can set the tone for your speech. Albert Einstein once said, "The only source of knowledge is experience." Tell a personal story. People love stories, and sharing a personal experience can make you more relatable. It also helps to establish an emotional connection. Create a visual. Paint a picture with your words to capture your audience's imagination. Describe a scene vividly to draw them into your world. Use humor. A well-timed joke can break the ice and make your audience more receptive. Just make sure it's appropriate for the context. Lastly, state a bold claim. Make a promise or prediction that piques curiosity. For example, by the end of this talk, you'll have the tools to conquer your fear of public speaking. Chapter 7, Ignoring Audience Interaction, Engage and Respond. Have you ever sat through a speech that felt like a one-way conversation? It's dull, right? Engaging with your audience is crucial. Studies show that interactive presentations are 34% more effective. So, how can you ensure your audience is involved? Start by asking questions. This invites participation and keeps listeners alert. Try open-ended questions to encourage discussion. For instance, what challenges have you faced with public speaking? Use technology to your advantage. Tools like live polls or Q&A apps can make interaction seamless. Platforms like Slido or Mentimeter allow real-time audience input. Encourage feedback. Ask your audience to share their thoughts or experiences related to your topic. This not only engages them but also provides you with valuable insights. Include activities. Small group discussions or quick exercises can break the monotony and get people involved. For example, a quick role play can illustrate a point more vividly than just talking about it. Be responsive. Acknowledge contributions and answer questions thoughtfully. This shows respect and makes your audience feel valued. Use names. If you know some audience members, address them by name. It personalizes the interaction and builds rapport. Lastly, read the room. Pay attention to non-verbal cues. If your audience looks bored or confused, adjust your approach. Remember, a speech is a conversation, not a monologue. Chapter 8, Lack of Authenticity, Be Genuine, Be You. Authenticity is key to connecting with your audience. People can spot a fake from a mile away. In fact, a study by Harvard Business Review found that authenticity is the most important quality for leaders. So, how do you ensure you're genuine? First, be yourself. Don't try to mimic other speakers. Your unique personality is your strength. Authenticity builds trust and rapport. Share personal stories. These make you relatable and human. Talk about your experiences, successes, and failures. Brené Brown says, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. Speak from the heart. Let your passion for the topic shine through. Enthusiasm is contagious and can captivate your audience. Be honest. If you don't know the answer to a question, admit it. People appreciate honesty more than a half-baked response. Use your own words. Avoid jargon or scripted lines that don't sound like you. Natural language makes your speech more engaging. Connect emotionally. Show empathy and understanding. Relate to your audience's feelings and experiences. Finally, stay true to your values. Speak about what you believe in. Authenticity isn't just about being real, it's about being true to yourself. Chapter 9, Failing to Practice, the Secret to Seamless Delivery. You've heard it before, practice makes perfect. Yet, many speakers neglect this crucial step. According to Malcolm Gladwell, it takes 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery. While you might not need that much, practicing is vital for a seamless delivery. Start with small chunks. Break your speech into sections and practice each part individually. This makes the task less daunting and helps with memorization. Record yourself. Watching the playback can highlight areas for improvement. Pay attention to your tone, pace, and body language. Practice in front of others. Get feedback from friends or family. They can provide valuable insights and help you refine your delivery. Simulate the environment. Practice in a setting similar to where you'll be speaking. This helps you get comfortable with the space and reduces anxiety. Work on your timing. Make sure your speech fits within the allotted time. Practice with a timer to avoid running over. Use visualization. Picture yourself giving a successful speech. This mental rehearsal can boost your confidence and performance. Finally, embrace the imperfections. No speech is ever perfect. The goal is to be prepared, not flawless. Practice enough to feel confident but stay flexible.